Last-minute bombshell. Arsenal lose Marc Guéhi to Man City, but confirm a new Crystal Palace target. Chelsea are about to hijack our deal for Jacquet. But wait, Arsenal are now tracking a new Pedri and a 17-year-old Serbian wonderkid. And in the middle of all this chaos, Arsenal are pushing ahead with talks to sign a young Brazilian prospect. This transfer window is an absolute mess, and you need to know everything that's going on. What's up, Gooners? Quick one, smash that like button right now because this video is packed with breaking news, and you supporting the channel means we can keep bringing you daily Arsenal content like this. Let's go. Right, let's rip the band-aid off. Marc Guéhi is going to Manchester City. It's done. Arsenal have lost this transfer race. And here's the kicker. Liverpool lost too. In fact, Liverpool were the favourites for months. They were close to signing him last summer before negotiations collapsed. They maintained long-term interest. They had a plan. They were positioned perfectly for a free transfer this summer. Arsenal joined the race later but were prepared to compete with Liverpool. The plan was clear. Wait until end of season, sign him as a free agent, no transfer fee to Crystal Palace. Smart business, right? Wrong, because Manchester City had other ideas. City's injury crisis changed everything. Ruben Dias out. Josko Gvardiol injured. Pep Guardiola desperate for defensive reinforcements. So City did what City do. They threw money at the problem and solved it immediately. They moved decisively, concluded the deal and offered a salary package that Liverpool simply could not match. And Arsenal, we couldn't compete either. When City want someone and are willing to pay whatever it takes, there's no beating them. So Guehi is a City player now. Liverpool and Arsenal are both scrambling for alternatives. Now, is this a disaster for Arsenal? Honestly, not really. And here's why: we were never desperate for Guehi. Our defensive situation is solid. We've got Gabriel and William Saliba, both just signed new contracts, both playing at an elite level. We have some of the strongest defensive options in European football. Guehi would have been luxury, insurance, smart planning for the future. But urgent? No, that's the difference between us and City right now. They needed him because of injuries. We wanted him for depth and future planning. Missing out stings because nobody likes losing a transfer race to City, but Arsenal aren't under immediate pressure. We can take a measured approach, be patient, find the right player at the right time rather than panic buying. And speaking of alternatives, there's already a new name emerging. Maxence Lacroix from Crystal Palace, Guehi's former teammate. According to Express Sport, Arsenal could consider pursuing Lacroix in the summer. He's got experience at Palace, familiar with the Premier League, and could be a quality addition. The key point here is Arsenal's ability to quickly identify alternative targets. That shows strong long-term planning. We didn't get Guehi? Fine. Move on, find someone else. That's how top clubs operate. But wait, it gets worse. Remember Jeremy Jacquet, the 20-year-old Rennes defender we discussed as Ben White's potential replacement? The scarily talented French youngster? Yeah, Chelsea are about to hijack that deal. Fabrizio Romano just dropped an update, and it's not good news for Arsenal. Chelsea are in active talks since the start of this week to sign a new centre-back in January. Active talks. That means serious negotiations happening right now. And here's the killer detail. Jacquet has been on Chelsea's shortlist since July. They've been watching him for months, and he's now one of 3 names on Chelsea's list for January. Romano says a decision on their new centre-back is coming soon. So Arsenal are big fans of Jacquet. We've scouted him extensively. We see him as the perfect long-term replacement for Ben White. Young, athletic, can play centre-back and right-back, excellent ball progression, everything Arteta wants in a defender. But Chelsea are moving faster. They're negotiating now. They want him in January, not summer. And from Jacquet's perspective, Chelsea might actually be the more attractive option right now. Here's why. At Arsenal, Jacquet is competing with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes for game time. 2 of the best centre-backs in European football. He's not displacing either of them. He'd be a backup, a project for the future, waiting for his chance. At Chelsea, he walks into that starting 11. He's an obvious upgrade on Trevoh Chalobah and Tosin Adarabioyo. Immediate first-team football in the Premier League. Yes, Chelsea aren't guaranteed top 4 this season. Yes, Arsenal's project looks way more tempting for trophies, but for a 20-year-old's development, regular minutes matter more than anything. Chelsea have also shown their commitment to trusting and developing youngsters. Look at their squad, packed with young talent getting opportunities. Arteta, on the other hand, leans on experience when fighting on four fronts like we are now. So if you're Jacquet and his agent, what do you choose? Fight for scraps at Arsenal behind two untouchable centre-backs, or start every week at Chelsea and develop your game? The frustrating part for Arsenal is we identified Jacquet perfectly. He fits our profile. He's the right age, right skill set, right mentality. But we're not moving fast enough. And in the transfer market, hesitation kills deals. If Chelsea get this done in January, we've missed out on our Ben White replacement. Then what? Back to the drawing board. More scouting, more negotiations. Meanwhile, White's future remains uncertain and we're short on options. This is exactly the kind of deal Arsenal cannot afford to lose. Not after missing out on Guehi. 2 defensive targets in one window. That starts to look like poor planning rather than bad luck. Right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about some exciting young talent, because Arsenal are reportedly eyeing a 17-year-old Serbian midfielder who's being compared to Barcelona's Pedri. His name is Vasilije Kostov from Red Star Belgrade. And before you ask, yes, 17 years old, Arsenal's youth recruitment absolutely relentless right now. Kostov has enjoyed a breakthrough season at Red Star. Despite his young age, he's already featured in at least 4 Europa League matches and contributed an assist. That's serious for a 17-year-old. Performing on a demanding European stage shows mentality and quality beyond his years. The Pedri comparison is interesting because of his playing style. Technical midfielder, comfortable on the ball, excellent vision, ability to control tempo. Exactly the kind of profile Arsenal love in their midfield. Arsenal have been closely monitoring some of the best young players across Europe, and Kostov has now entered their thinking. The club already boasts several of the finest young talents in world football. Think Ethan Nwaneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly, but that hasn't slowed our desire to add more quality for the future. Red Star Belgrade are reportedly realistic about the situation. They recognise that interest from elite clubs means Kostov is unlikely to remain long-term. So Arsenal's involvement puts us firmly among those hoping to secure his signature before his value rises further. But there's competition. According to The Sun, multiple teams across Europe are tracking the teenager. Arsenal have now officially joined the race, and the report suggests we see Kostov as an ideal long-term project. Here's what I like about this. Arsenal aren't just buying established stars, we're investing in the future. Kostov is 17. He's not coming in to solve problems now. He's a 3, 4, 5-year project. Maybe he goes on loan, maybe he develops with our academy, but eventually he could become a valuable squad member. That's smart recruitment. That's how you build sustained success. You don't just buy for today, you buy for tomorrow and the day after. Final story, and it's another exciting one. Arsenal have initiated contact for Brazilian midfielder Breno Bidon from Corinthians. Bidon is 20 years old but already has extensive experience, over 100 appearances for Corinthians. That's serious game time for someone so young. He helped Corinthians win both the Campeonato Paulista and Copa do Brasil in 2025. Clearly a winner. According to TNT Sports Brazil, Arsenal have contacted Corinthians management about signing Bidon. No formal offer made yet, but contact established. That's the first step in any transfer. Here's where it gets interesting though. Arsenal might need to move fast. Flamengo have weighed up making an offer. Last week, they contacted Biden's representatives at Dodici Sports and considered making a bid. So far, no offer presented, but the interest is real. Plus, clubs in Italy and Portugal are also reportedly monitoring him. So this isn't a free run. Arsenal have competition. The question is whether Arsenal are serious or just doing due diligence. We're leading the Premier League, top of the Champions League table, fighting on 4 fronts. Do we need a 20-year-old Brazilian midfielder right now? Probably not urgently, but again, this feels like planning ahead, adding quality young players who can develop and contribute in the future. Arsenal's transfer strategy under Arteta and Edu has been about building a squad that can compete for years, not just one season. If Arsenal can get Biden for a reasonable fee, it's low risk, high reward. Young, talented, experienced despite his age, proven winner. Exactly the profile we should be targeting. So there you have it, Gooners. Now I want your opinions in the comments. Are you furious we lost Guehi to City, or was he never that important anyway? If Chelsea get Jacquet, has Arsenal's recruitment team dropped the ball, or are we right to be patient? And should we go all in for Kostov and Bidon now, or wait until summer? Drop your honest takes below. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our daily Arsenal content. Thanks for watching, Gooners, and remember, come on you Gunners!